Hello, I'm Dr. Lipi Roy, and welcome to my show, Health, Humor, and Harmony. Today's show is super special because I'll be talking to celebrity trainer and television personality Bob Harper about his heart attack and the importance of CPR and AED week. Let's get started. Bob Harper has worked as a celebrity trainer for years, appearing on the reality show The Biggest Loser as both a personal trainer and host. In 2017, Bob's life turned upside down when he experienced a major heart attack and sudden cardiac arrest. High-quality CPR saved his life. In my interview with Bob, he shares his heart attack ordeal, his life today, and critical steps that all of you can take to save a life. Here we go. So nice to meet you. I don't know if your team told you, I write for Forbes, but my day job, I'm actually a doctor. So I'm an internal medicine doctor. I also specialize in addiction medicine. And when Lizzie and her team approached me about talking to you about this topic, I jumped at it because not only is it important to me professionally as a doctor who's taking care of so many patients with heart disease, but personally, my own father experienced a heart attack a little over 20 years ago, 1998. He was at work and just was feeling kind of uncomfortable, just not that great. So the work company nurse said, "Oh, what, Mr. Roy, why don't you go home?" And so he went home, and it wasn't until hours later that he was feeling really bad, like chest discomfort. Went to the doctor, and they admitted him, and they said, "Oh, Mr. Roy, you had a heart attack based on his EKG, but like 12 hours ago." Fast forward, he ended up undergoing a quintuple bypass, and this is like I think 98 or 99 and 1999, and knock on wood, he's still alive and doing well. His grafts are still patent or open, but
How old was he?
So at the time he was 64, I want to say like mid 60s, but lifetime non-smoker, very active, thin, active guy. Very, very healthy, but unfortunately, in the Indian community, heart disease runs rampant, and he did have high blood pressure. Diabetes was diagnosed, I think, a bit later. So there's genetics, I'm sure, involved as well as I think a bit of a rich diet. My mom cooked very rich foods, but anyway. He's doing well, but he now has complications of that heart attack, including congestive heart failure, which is managed through medications. But all of this to say that I take this disease extremely seriously. So I can't thank you enough, Bob, for taking your time and effort, using your platform to talk about this.
Well, when I first heard that you wanted to have a conversation with me, I jumped at the chance because first, I love talking with doctors. I used to, before my heart attack, I would always have what they called white coat syndrome. I was very nervous around my doctors. I had to sit for a while before my blood pressure would come down because I was super nervous. Now, whenever I'm around doctors, I feel like I just have a warm blanket around me. It's the best feeling. So I was very excited to talk to you about my experience and the messaging that I want to get out to everyone listening to us. So,
well, I can't thank you enough. Honestly, Bob, trust me, you don't have to have the letters MD behind your name to be saving lives, because that is exactly what you're doing. And thank you. This really leads me into my first question. To the extent that you feel comfortable, can you describe your heart attack experience, your symptoms, if any, the environment, like where you were, what you were doing, again, to the extent that you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah. See, I had a completely different experience than your father. Mine, I don't remember that whole day. I don't remember getting up. I had one dog at the time, taking my dog for a walk. I went to the gym like I always did and was working out. It was only when I woke up in a hospital 2 days later being told what had happened to me, that I had not only had a heart attack, but I had immediately gone into cardiac arrest, and which was just a shocking experience because I didn't have any of those symptoms, those experiences, nothing like that. And so for me, it was one of those, wait, what happened to me? What's going on? It was a very traumatic time for me because like when I woke up in the hospital and I was around my best friends and my loved ones, family and friends from Los Angeles and Tennessee, and I'm living in New York, and everyone is here trying to tell me what had happened. It was very jarring for me. And the day that I had the heart attack and went into cardiac arrest in the gym, my friend that was there, he said that in the middle of the workout, he said he just saw me just kind of lie down on the ground and roll onto my side, which was very unusual for me. And realizing that something was up, it was him. It was one of the coaches that was in the gym that kind of went into action mode. And if it wasn't for an event that was happening in the gym that day, this doctor was literally in the house. They asked if anybody was a doctor. He came down, and there were people that were attempting CPR with me, but according to information that I got afterwards, it was kind of this. It wasn't the kind of CPR, that initial just take action kind of mentality that the doctor had. And I mean, he said he came down. He said, I saw Bob Harper lying on the ground. I had already turned blue. The AED was not working. And he just said, I had to go in there with a vengeance and try to perform CPR to try to get me some sort of electricity back going in my heart. So that's why CPR and AED information is so important.
It sounds like first of all, thank you so much for describing that. It sounds like a harrowing experience. And I think you'll be the first to acknowledge that, to be very blunt, you're lucky to be alive, right? I mean, and I think what you're describing is what the other people were not able to perform. And this is what the AHA, American Heart Association, and many other organizations say, you need high quality CPR. And that's what you're describing. Well, that's, I believe, what the doctor came in and did. Am I correct?
That is exactly right. High quality CPR. And the one thing that I try to tell people when it comes to CPR and how important it is to be CPR certified is because, people get nervous. They get scared. Am I going to do something wrong? It's like, you're not going to do anything wrong. Doing something wrong is just like not going in there with the force needed and going in there with the information. Like, he came in and his comment was, and I always say this with people performing CPR, it's like, you got to go in there and the idea is to just like break that sternum. It's like, don't worry about anything other than just like getting those compressions in and knowing how to work the AED and knowing that the AED will not even emit any kind of electric current unless there is some sort of electricity in the heart, right? So that's why the AED wasn't working on me, because I was already in asystole, and it was just like, it was just a really scary time.
Well, and so I'm really so glad you just really jumped into the heart of, no pun intended, the heart of the matter, which is really the fact that just so our viewers all understand, you're really actively promoting CPR and AED week, or automated external defibrillator week, which is June 1st to the 7th. But frankly,
that's right.
I think you and I will both agree every day should be CPR and AED every day, right? Because as you know, Bob, and you've been talking about this nationwide, if not globally, that the world's leading cause of death, certainly in the United States and North America, is still heart disease, right?
Yep.
And it is so preventable, and you can actually save lives, and you don't have to have any kind of advanced education or degree. And you're right. People, certainly a lot of my patients, and even like young med students and young students, are always so concerned that, oh, I'm going to break their rib. I'm like, yeah, break their rib.
Break it.
The hierarchy of health is your brain and your heart. If those don't function, your bones in your chest don't matter, right?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of misinformation out there for people, and I want to really clarify this and hit this home, is, people, it's like, oh, well, you were able to recover from your heart attack because you were in such good shape. I was like, that meant nothing. My physical capabilities meant nothing. It was because I had someone that knew how to perform high quality CPR and know how to use an AED. That is the only reason why, doctor, I am sitting here talking with you right now.
I'm so glad that you're alive to tell
Me
your
too.
story, and frankly, to tell your story and really save other people's lives. I mean, that's why I do the work that I do, and not just being in medicine, but specifically partnering with people like you. You know, I'm merging my passion for medicine with media, film, entertainment, celebrities like you. And this really leads into my next question, which is, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but for those of you who may not know, you are an athletic, fit guy. You've devoted your career to being, you're a celebrity trainer. I am curious because people will wonder, well, I thought people that are overweight or out of shape and all of that, there's a certain stereotype of who gets heart disease. And yes, there are key risk factors. Do you mind sharing maybe, like, did you have a family history, or what did your doctors tell you in terms of why they think you got a heart attack and cardiac arrest?
Well, doctor, you really bring up a really good point, because before I had my heart attack, I had an idea, just like so many people, of what a person at risk of a heart attack looks like, right? It's that overweight person that is not taking care of his diet, not taking care of their diet,
And they're old.
not working out, and they're old, and whatever the case may be. What I have learned is that we are all at risk, all of us. And what I think is so important is knowing what your family history is. I did not realize that I had a genetic history of something called lipoprotein A, and so that was something that I was completely unaware of. And what I try to get people to do now, it's like, as you know, it's a simple cholesterol blood test that you can take. It's like, yes, you need to know what your LDLs and your HDLs are, but like the importance for someone like me and other people that I've talked to now all these years later is getting that simple blood test that you know what your LP number is. And so it just goes back to knowing what your health is from the inside out. And
Yes.
and you know, it's like the old adage, what is it? Don't judge a book by its cover, right? It's like you cannot just assume, just because you are eating healthy and you're working out, because I was doing all those things, that you are not at risk. And you just, like, information is power when it comes to knowing to prevent a heart attack as much as you can.
But I will say, I mean, Bob, I mean, bravo, and that you were really doing all the right things. You really were. You were taking care of your health. You were a very active. You ate healthy. So you did eliminate many risk factors. But as you pointed out really astutely, there's no such thing as having zero risk. It's a question of modifying and minimizing your risks. But a key part of that is really knowing your own health. And so I always tell people, just get at least that one annual checkup, so they can check your cholesterol and check your blood pressure, probably check your weight, and maybe check your A1C as well, to see if you have diabetes.
There's no zero risk, right? There's minimizing your risk as much as possible, doing what you can to get proper sleep, manage your stress, which is a huge thing, as you know, managing your stress, and like trying to stack the deck in your favor as much as you possibly can.
Yeah. I feel like I should give you an honorary medical degree, Bob. I mean, you're saying all the right things. Dr. Bob Harper, MD.
I love Dr. Bob Harper. Sounds great.
Well, Bob, this is great. Really, my last question for you is really, what key message would you want to convey to the public, and what message would you like to give to healthcare professionals like me?
I think the number one key message I feel like that is so important at this point is to get CPR certified. People think that, you know, it's the service oriented people, it's the trainers, and it's the flight attendants, it's people that work with groups of people. And I'm like, no, everyone that is listening to us right now, it is so important for you to be CPR certified, because you could be walking down the street one day and you could see someone drop, and you could be that one person that changes their life. And I think that to me is the biggest the biggest key. And the other part of your question is, what would I say to other healthcare providers? And I think that it just gets to the point of really caring for the people that, like, I can only imagine the stress, the work involved. Like my cardiologist, who I absolutely love, Dr. Gouda is his name. He's fantastic. I had, like, through these years, we've built such a good relationship, and he knows, like, he knows where my insecurities are. He knows where my stress level comes from. He knows so much about me because he cares about me. And finding that right healthcare provider that will take the time, and that's hard, as busy as we all are, and with the clientele that, like, doctors have, but, like, it's so important for that one person to know that they are in good hands.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, Bob. It's so important. God knows they teach us that in medical school and residency training. But then, as you kind of pointed out, once the reality of actual clinic life is, oh, you're expected to see every 10 minutes a new patient, and
Yeah.
like that's like a toxicity of the structure, right? Of the healthcare system structure. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the best part of my job is sitting down and talking to patients like you, actually listening to patients like you. That's where the care and compassion comes in, because I could meet 10 different patients who are, say, at risk for heart disease,
Mhm.
and I would tailor my treatment to that individual patient, right? Because Bob Harper is different from Chris Jones, who's different from Krishna Patel. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's absolutely important. And that feedback that you're giving as a patient to the healthcare professional is so, so important. So that mutual, that patient autonomy and that creating a therapeutic relationship is so, so important.
Do no harm, right?
Yeah.
You're in there because you want to help people, and it's hard, and it's like, it's stressful, but it's like, it takes 1 minute to say one thing, and I don't know what that one thing is, but that one thing that patient needs to hear from their healthcare provider. And I think that to me is just, it speaks volumes.
One of the lessons that I learned is that really is effective and that really helps me bond with my patients is, frankly, me just saying thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and see me, or thank you for sharing your story. We're going to work together to get you better.
That's exactly right. See, well, I mean, I want you to be my doctor now.
I like the fact that you also emphasize what we call lifestyle modifications. You talked about managing stress, and you're right, it's easier said than done, but it's
Mhm.
so doable. Managing stress, you talked about exercise and, like, just regular physical activity, and diet, and having good personal connections and strong social supports. All of those are critical to health. And just because I'm a doctor, and I know that people who've had a heart attack are on, like, medications, I assume that you take medications every day,
Mhm.
and I
I
assume
do.
that you have regular medical checkups. I assume, is that correct?
You are exactly correct. It's like I have a routine that I have to stick with, and realizing that medications are a part of my life, and they are a part of my life for the rest of my life, and uh, and I understand that, like, my relationship with my doctor is a relationship that I will have for a very, very long time.
Bob, it has been a delight talking to you. Is there anything else that I missed that you want to, like, just convey? You are such an optimistic and happy person.
I try.
It really comes through by this Zoom. So is there anything else that you want to convey that maybe I didn't ask?
No, I think that we really hit home, and I love that you brought up that June 1st through 7th is CPR Aed Awareness Week, and everyone that's listening to us, please, please, please get CPR certified. Please know that you could be that angel for someone, because that doctor, his name is Dr. Z. He is in my phone as Angel. I mean, so it's like he's my angel, and you could be someone's angel out there. So.
And Bob, just remind everyone that's listening, you do not have to be somebody with a higher level education. You don't have to be, anybody can get trained in CPR and learn how to use an AED, right? You did. And go into the feeling of assertiveness, and that I'm
That's
going to
right.
save a life, and
Right.
and you really can't do harm. That's the key thing to remember, I think, as well.
My whole thinking now is, if someone God forbid, drops and has a heart attack around me, I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm going to be their angel.
Of course you are. You've already been an angel to so many, Bob. And I just want to clarify something I said. So it's actually 30 compressions to 2 breaths.
30. That's the number. Yes, it's 30. I can't believe
yeah.
I can't believe I forgot about that. 30 and 2.
Remember that it's the compressions that are key. It's not even the breaths, but the compressions that get the oxygen up to the brain. So
that's right.
Bob,
yeah.
I just want to say, on behalf of all of my fellow medical professionals, thank you for helping us out by sharing what you know and sharing your story. You are truly saving lives. You really are.
Well, I appreciate it. And I want everyone to know that they can go on to our website, which is survivorshaveheart.com. Survivorshaveheart.com. There is like not only photographs that I took of fellow heart attack survivors, because I'm also a photographer, but it's the stories. It's like people that have, not only the heart attack survivors, but the people that help them through their recovery. Yeah. I mean, as you know, I mean, the importance of those people, like we're going through our own stuff, like surviving the heart attack, but it's the people that, you know, were with me every single day. And it's like the people that help those other survivors. I mean, you get to hear their stories, and it's like, I'm really proud of what we created with Survivors Have Heart. It's like, it's this thing that it started out this small little project, and it's just kind of like turned into something that is one of the things that I am the most proud of.
I looked at the website. It's phenomenal how you brought people together, sharing their stories and empowering people. And Bob, you're looking great. Those tattoos are so painful. Oh my God.
I know, they're so painful.
But you are a strong human being, and I mean that emotionally and mentally, and of course physically. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and it's been a joy talking with you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Well, folks, as you can tell, I had a fantastic time talking to Bob. He couldn't have been nicer. I am deeply grateful to Bob for sharing such a personal and challenging life event, and now empowering others through his advocacy and storytelling. Check out Survivors Have Heart to discover heart attack survivors' inspirational stories. So how can you get involved? You can stack the cards in your favor, as Bob would say, by taking care of your own health. You can see your doctor, get your blood pressure, cholesterol, and hemoglobin A1C checked. You should also get CPR certified. Go to redcross.org to find a CPR class near you, online or in person. You can also donate to, volunteer with, and learn more from the American Heart Association, the World Heart Federation, the Heart and Stroke Foundation, Women Heart, and many more. When you know CPR, you can truly save someone's life. Well, that's all for today. And here's your joke of the day to jumpstart your week. Why did the patient finally agree to getting a heart transplant? She had a change of heart. Tune in this Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, when I'll be talking about gun violence. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, write comments below, and follow me on Instagram at Health Humor Harmony Dr. Roy. Be well. I'll see you soon.